Hey everybody, we just got done putting up the 100-inch screen, but these steps are actually going to also apply to the 120-inch screen too. Now we've got a video that's going to actually walk you through all of this end to end, but for the purposes of this video here, we're actually going to focus on installing the tension springs all around the cinema display, because that's a very important step that you just got to get right, and this video will clarify it and really hone in on all the details. Okay, so we just went out ahead. There's only two types of screws. There's 16 of these little short screws, and there are 8 of the black screws. They're for different purposes. These are actually, since we already installed the frame together with the L frames that slide inside, we're going to use these black ones. As you see, we've already started. Sorry, not the black ones. We're going to use the short silver ones to secure those with the L frames inside. And the black ones, once we get to that, we'll save that for a little bit later, because that's going to go on the exterior of the frame, where we actually, it'll match the black frame and it'll look really nice and flush. One thing I really want to point out is that you actually want to leave the screws not totally secure in as you're doing it. So I would recommend, when you're doing the screws, start with one angle, one corner first. Don't screw it all the way in. Move to the other opposite angle on the other side. Do the same thing. Just screw them in, not totally secure, and then do that on the rest of the corners. Once they're all in there, then you can go back and tighten all the screws, just like you did in the same order. All right, inside of this cardboard cylinder is the screen material. Now, it actually comes pre-rolled with a protective layer of plastic already in there. So once I just roll it out, it's going to automatically just roll out already protected. So I'm just going to show you how to do that. But before I get started, I'm going to wear the protective gloves that also come shipped with it, so that I don't put any smudges or any damage or fingerprints onto the screen material. Okay, so I just unrolled the screen material, and as you can see, just like I said, you've got the protective layer on the bottom already, and then right at the top, this is that special optical layered pattern EpiqVison screen. Okay, so this is the next step where you might want a helper if you have one available, just because raising the screen and putting it on top of the screen material, it is a little bit cumbersome, and it's really helpful when you have someone helping you do that. Now, as you do it, we're just going to do it in real time. You want to place it so that the screws are facing up, that we just screwed into this frame. And we're going to lay it right on top, like so, leaving just enough space or coverage, because we're going to, later in the next step, we're going to attach this to the frame in just a minute, and then it'll be secured. All right, so this is the next step where we're actually going to secure the screen material to the frame, and we're going to use that with these tension springs. I want to show you how to do it first with 2 of them, and then what we're actually going to do is we're going to start with these in the corners. We're going to cover each corner, and I've got a helper. It actually is really convenient. It came with 2 of these, so I'm going to hand that off to my helper right now, and I'm going to start on this corner. And at the same time, while I'm doing this corner, my helper is on the adjacent corner on the opposite side. We're going to cover each corner, 1, 2, 3, 4 at the same time. Then we're going to cover each of them in the middle on each side of the frame, and then we're going to fill in the rest later. So here we go. All right, so as you can see, we covered each corner with the securing tension springs, and now I'm going to move on to the center of each side of the frame. I'm going to start on this side, the long sides first, then I'm going to move on to the shorter sides. Now that we've got each center on each side covered and each corner, now we're going to create even tension again, and I'm going to start just going from the outside, well, from the inside out on both sides, and my helper is on the other side doing the exact same thing on the other side of the frame. I started from the inside out, and now I'm just going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going work from the inside out on this same side, and again, my helper is on the other side, making this process just go a little bit faster. And then we'll only have 2 of the long sides left, and we'll basically just apply that same rule of thumb. Okay, now that we got the short sides both done, I'm going to do the same thing on the long sides. I'm going to start again from the center, work my way to the exterior of the screen, and then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so in this step, we're actually going to secure all the frame edges to each side. So I've got 2 short sides and 2 longer sides. And we've already got them up. But the really important thing you want to know about this is there are 2 holes, and you want the 2 holes to be on each corner, because when I secure them in like this doesn't have to be exact or ultra tight. We're just getting everything into place. There's the little tiny piece, and you want it, the skinny part, to point up. I'm just going to secure that to the corner, and my partner is on the other adjacent side doing the exact same thing, just so that we get a really tight, secure frame as we're doing this at the same time. Okay, this is the last step of our assembly. We have 2 of these guys, and they are going to go on the downside. So if you find the sticker that says downside, that's where the first one's going to go, and then you'll see on the other side there's a similar screw, and you're going to do the second one there. My helper's doing that right now. And the reason we do this is so this basically keeps the frame from touching the wall, and this can be adjusted later. So for right now, I'm just going to secure it just enough, and I can make it tighter as needed later. Now, once you've got the tension springs all installed around the display, the next really important step you want to take is grab a friend to help you pick up the screen and then install it onto the wall. Now, you'll need to align the screen to make your drill holes. Once you install your screen onto the wall, you may want to slightly adjust the position to angle the projector so that the picture is aligned with the display. Play with the angles and make the adjustments to the calibration settings until the image looks perfectly aligned. Once you've got that, you're pretty much ready to start watching some movies. Since the tension springs is such an important step, that concludes our take on how to install the tension springs around the display. Now, we do have a review that will cover the entire projector and the display and our experience using it, so definitely go check that out if you're interested, and we will see you next time.